Next up, at UFC 293, we've got Jack Jenkins taking on Chepe Mariscal. Jack Jenkins, 12-2 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. He is riding a 9-fight win streak. He's taking on Chepe Mariscal, 14-6 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's riding a 4-fight win streak and coming off a win in his UFC debut. This actually, I said actually, as I don't know why I said actually, but this could be the fight of the night. Both of these guys are willing to go out there and bang. Both of them can get into an actual fight. And I'm actually looking forward to this one. This card's a bit mediocre, but this fight should be very, very good.
What a casual.
Shut the hell up. Jack Jenkins, this guy's a solid striker. He's got very real power, good takedown defense. He's going to pressure forward, back you up against the cage, and then from there, he'll look for some control. Overall, he is a powerful guy, and he can win a fight multiple ways. People like to highlight his striking, that he's got 3 fights in the UFC. You know, he's doing really well. He's wild leg kicks. He broke a guy's leg on the regional scene.
Oh, my God.
But he's got far more than just striking. Those 3 fights in the UFC, he has 9 takedowns total. He's coming off that win over Jamal Emmers. Win is in quotes. He definitely lost that fight. And if you remember... Do you remember what the live odds were at the
I remember. I remember
round?
live odds, but I just rewatched that fight, and I was like, I mean, round 1 and 2 were like extremely close, and Jack actually had the striking numbers in both. He obviously got smothered in the 3rd round, but those first 2 rounds are pretty close. I thought Jamal won. I had money on Jamal, but when I rewatched it, I was like, it was a pretty close fight.
Yeah, I think he lost, but yes, I hear you.
I think he lost too, but I don't think he was robbed.
The odds makers did not think it was a close fight. At the end of the 3rd round, like the fight's over and they leave the odds for like, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute. And then it's just go ahead and bet it before the scorecard. Jamal Emmers was a minus 1,700 favorite, a massive favorite, and he still lost that fight. He's taking on Chepe Mariscal. Chepe can do everything. This guy has an incredible resume. He's got BJJ championships, kickboxing champions. He's a collegiate wrestler, and most of that resume says grappler. Oh, BJJ champion, college wrestler. Oh, he must be a grappler. But the reality is he is willing to engage. He will bomb away, and he has no problem getting into a firefight. We just saw that in his last fight with Trevor Peek. He has fought some high-level competition throughout his career before the UFC. His last fight was a short-notice UFC debut at 155 pounds. He won that fight. He looked pretty good doing it, especially on short notice. Both Jacob and I picked him to win, and obviously we were very glad that he did. Before the UFC, he fought some... Chepe.
Oh, I was all over Trevor Peek at that fight.
Oh, you were? Oh, I was all over Chepe. And I had
no. I think I think I might have lost money to you on that fight.
Oh, for some reason I thought you picked him too. Oh, well, I did.
No.
What I was going to mention is before he made it to the UFC, he did fight some UFC caliber guys. They were losses. He lost to every single one of them, though. He got knocked out by Steve Garcia. The Joe Anderson Brito knockout was one of the worst I've ever seen. But he did come out there. He did fight on short notice, up a weight class, and he looked fantastic. Chin held up. He was gritty. He was throwing bombs, staying in his face, didn't slow down at all, and showed that this guy does belong in the UFC. I am surprised to see that Chepe is a 2-1 underdog. He's got all the wrestling. He showed us in that last fight. He showed us how tough he can be. Not only did he out-wrestle Trevor Peek, he outstruck him too, and he did that up a weight class on short notice. Chepe can be the real deal. We'll see how good he's actually going to be, like long-term. In my quick picks video, I likened this to when, who's Sean Strickland's buddy there? The little black guy. Hits hard. Chris Curtis.
Little?
For 85, he's small. Okay. Chris Curtis showed up into the UFC at 185 pounds, knocked out a bunch of killers super fast, and was like, oh shit, how good is this guy? And that could be Chepe, right? He could come in here and all of a sudden string together a bunch of wins. I just don't think that's going to happen. To compare the performance he had against Trevor Peek, who barely had a couple of MMA fights, had none of the skill but all the tenacity, to somebody like Jack Jenkins, who can out-wrestle people, who can out-strike people, who has those deadly leg kicks. You're doing yourself a disservice to make that comparison. I think Jack Jenkins wins this fight. I think Jack Jenkins lights up Chepe's legs, and I think Jack Jenkins takes away that movement and gets it done. So I like Jack Jenkins here, but I would love if Chepe was turned into that Chris Curtis. The kid, undersized. I mean, he was fighting he came up at 185 to fight Phil Hughes, who's one of the biggest guys in that division. You don't agree?
I don't know. Why do we talk about Chris Curtis? I don't know why we're talking
because
about
this
Chris
feels very
Curtis.
similar to that. This feels very
I
similar
know, but
to
you
that.
started getting real specific about it. I didn't know what the hell.
Because I'm waiting for that to happen. Like, I think Jack's going to win, but I'm waiting for this to be his. He showed up, short notice, win, beat Brendan Allen, beat Phil, beat all these, or Hawes, not Hughes, beat Brendan Allen, beat Phil, beat all of these people that he wasn't supposed to beat. And it's like, holy shit, Chepe could do that, but I can't pick him. I like Jack Jenkins to get it done.
Yeah, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final but core piece of the Mexican Blood Fly parlay, and that is going to be Chepe. I'm telling you right now, everyone, you're going to hear it all week. I'm sure you've heard it already. If you're in the Discord, if you guys are looking at Twitter, whatever, Jack Jenkins and these leg kicks. Oh my God, he's got all these leg kicks. He got a leg kick. Look what he did to Jamal Emmers, and he was lighting up the legs of Jamal Emmers in that last fight. No idea why Jamal Emmers didn't wrestle until the third round. We saw very clearly what happens when somebody is a better grappler than Jack Jenkins. He is flat on his back. He is clueless. He is a fish out of water. And without those leg kicks, that's what he becomes. Without the leg kicks, he's just a normal guy. Yeah, he's very tough. Yeah, he is a pretty good boxer, but he's not like an elite level boxer. He doesn't like when people are in his face. He doesn't like pressure. Guess what Chepe is? Chepe is a guy that gets in your face. He will turn this into a brawl. He will turn this nasty. And everyone talks about the leg kicks. The guy that Chepe has trained with over and over and over and over again is Justin Gaethje, another guy who has incredible leg kicks, probably better leg kicks than Jack Jenkins. And what that Justin Gaethje does so well, that Jack Jenkins also does well, is finish combos with leg kicks, and also in the pocket, he's really good at landing leg kicks. But he's seen this in training, in sparring. Yeah, it's different when it's live, and it's not going to be the same power, because in sparring, when they have the shin pads on and this and that. But he's seen the looks. He's been in there with light sparring, with regulars, with Justin Gaethje, getting him ready for fights. He knows if there's anyone prepared enough for leg kicks, it's going to be Chepe. And Chepe also has some nasty, nasty leg kicks of his own. He dropped Trevor Peek with the leg kick. So don't think this is just one thing that Jack Jenkins can do, and then he's just going to do it, and that's how he's going to win the fight, because he's not going to be able to do it. Chepe's going to be in his face. He's going to get him to the ground. He's going to be on top of him, and then Jack Jenkins just becomes a normal dude. Yes, he is very good at leg kicks. You take it away, he is just a normal guy. Chepe, in his last fight, out-dogged a complete fucking dog in Trevor Peek. Trevor Peek is a fucking tough-ass dude, is nonstop. And Chepe went in there short nose and out-dogged that guy. I fucking love people that just come in and God, I just fucking love dogs, man. People that, you know how many times I've sat here and watched fights on streams, and people look like they just don't even give a fuck in the fight. Like, oh, I'm losing, but who cares? Chepe is not one of those guys. He's going to come forward. He's going to be there. If he starts getting lit up, he's just going to fucking go for it, man. I love those guys. Chepe's the pick. I think he smokes Jack Jenkins.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to, it's a hard argument for me because I think Jack Jenkins wins. I think I was surprised to see Chepe as a 2-1 dog, but I totally understand why Jack Jenkins would be a 2-1 favorite, if that makes sense. I know that it's a contradictory
statement. He's going to get on top of this guy, and he's just going to rain down on him. Jackson give up his back. He might submit him. I mean, he's going to get the takedowns. And
but
then
you're comparing that.
Jack Jenkins was fully mounted by Don Shanus. What the fuck?
A tough, gritty Northeast guy.
Yeah, fucking. And then he was just fucking completely outworked and outclassed in the third round by Jamal Emmers. That was a close fight, and he got outworked. That could have been 1-1. And guess what? He was flat on his back for the entire third round of that fight. Didn't give a fuck. So he's a tough dude, but he's got outworked before.
Yeah, here's the problem with you're leaning very heavily on what Chepe did to Trevor Peek, who's not very good. And then you're using, he trains with Justin Gaethje as like the defense to anything else. How many people have we seen train with phenomenal fighters that absolutely suck? How many people have we seen?
It's about just getting the looks. Yeah, I guarantee that most people that train and they do the sparring and stuff don't see a lot of leg kicks. They're probably not, but that's a core of Justin Gaethje's game. So when he's in there live sparring, getting ready for fights, that's what he is going to be doing. And Chepe has been getting Justin ready for fights over and over again. So he was just training him for Poirier. Guess what he was doing against Poirier? Landing kicks. He's been in there, receiving it, being the sparring partner. He's seen the looks time and time again. I'm not saying that means he can't get hit by him. I'm not saying that doesn't mean he can't get hurt by him. But if there's anyone that's ready for the leg kicks, in theory, it should be Chepe.
Yeah, I'm on the other side. I'm happy to take your fucking money from you over it, honestly.
Oh, now you're gonna act confident because you were like,
No.
Now it's like, Anderson wants to get his big boy chest out. Peacock chest.
You're just so adamant. Like you don't even
smoke him.
You don't even. Yeah, I was gonna say you don't even see how Jack could win this fight, and because of that,
if the first leg kick lands, if the first leg kick lands and he snaps Chepe's legs in half, then great. That's how he wins.
Like when you picked what's her name and her arm exploded. Same energy, same exact energy from Jacob. And she was taken down immediately, and her arm explodes.
Imagine he does just snap his leg on the first kick.
What was that? What was her name? Was that Natalia Silva? No, yeah. No,
what was her name? Estela Nunes.
Estela Nunes, that's right. Same exact energy. Oh, she's in Estela Nunes. Come on, boom, arm snaps clean in half immediately.
He's going to maul this guy.
I'll bet you. I'll throw up a bet openly. Why don't you throw out the bet openly?
Hey, you can't figure it out, huh?
No, because I'm doing this while...
Oh, yeah, I'm not. I forgot that. I'm not doing this. Look, I just already have it created right now while I'm talking. So the fact that you can't do two things at once is concerning, to say the least. A little bit of dementia.
Just a touch. Just a touch. But I'm not the one who forgot that Chepe barely beat Trevor Peek. Okay?
I mean, he doubled his strikes and had like 4 or 5 takedowns. What do you mean barely beat? It was a 30-27 decision.
You're right.
Wasn't even close.
I forgot that Trevor Peek was...
He was an undefeated fighter with 8 finishes. He was 8-0 with 8 finishes.
Wow. Well, this should be easy money for you then.
I mean, I'm coming in. I was very high on Trevor Peek in that fight. I was like, okay. And I saw the fucking what Chepe can do. I mean, Jesus Christ, that guy's a fucking... He doesn't stop,
now you're all aboard the Chepe. I picked him last fight. I bet on him last fight. I'm not the biased one, so I get it. I get it.
That's called it's called treason.
Okay, yeah. I bailed on him. Anyway, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. You'll unlock everything you have ever needed and more for only $10 a month. Just go to WeWantPicks.com. Click the button at the top of the page, and you will instantly have access to picks, bets, tools, information, insight, and more. DraftKings, $7,500 for Chepe. I actually think that probably is good value because if you do think he gets the takedowns, if you do think that he can push that pace, then he's great value. But if you think Jack Jenkins is going to control the striking, take out the legs, touch up Chepe and get it done, well then Jackie Boy at 87 is somewhat of a discount as well. Like I said, Chepe a 2-1 dog seems a little wide. Jack Jenkins is a 2-1 favorite. Doesn't. I know that's a contradictory statement, but I'm here.